Do you want to know how to play Warden like an Eternus 6? I'm going to show you guys how to do that in this video. See, personally, I think Warden has two distinct ways of playing. He has gun and spirit. Those are the only two ways I mean, obviously, like I say, it's a game for every character, but like specifically, there's alt Warden and gun Warden. Those are like the two I would only like think are viable. I think alt Warden's better than gun Warden now, I think, personally. Now, first, I'm going to start on alt Warden. You can see I have my build here. It's not really a build because I don't like builds like that. I just like to make my own shit and like figure it out throughout the game. But personally, I would add more oranges to this later on. And I wouldn't buy K-Dash anymore because Arcane Surge is bugged right now with Warden alt. I don't know, like, did I have to fix this shit? I've never heard of it being fixed yet. So the bug is that if you use your ult and you use it, it'll proc on the ult. But if you use another ability, it'll cancel. It won't stay for the whole duration of the ult, which is obviously not what you want if you're buying Arcane Surge. So typically, alt Warden's playstyle is very simple, to be honest. You just like play lane normal, you go these 2 points, and then you play around your trades with your flask, because your flask gives them minus weapon damage and a slow. So what you do is on the start of every trade, you flask them, and then you start shooting them in the head, and they can't really trade back. And you the move speed slow makes it easier if you get your shots. This ability, Binding Ward, is actually like kind of useless in lane for every single Warden. Also, this is how you play lane for both styles of Warden. I'm not gonna like go back through it again. But where alt Warden differences is like, so you buy like these cheap items here, and you buy like some cheap items here probably too. Like if you're having trouble, you buy like this. But you kind of want Enduring Spirit because you always go slow hex on Warden. I wouldn't go cold for anymore. I think it's bad. It's like these, like really good. You want to go like this. Healbane's good if you're noticing they're healing in your ult. You want to stop that, obviously. Magic Leap. Majestic Leap is your first 3k and Surge of Power second 3k on alt Warden every time. Personally, if you're not pushing or anything, you don't buy monster rounds. Then you just buy Fleet Foot. So you can shoot in your ultimate, because before you get Fleet Foot, you don't really shoot in your ult unless you like really need the damage. And then after that, I'd pick up like these, like my upgrades would honestly just be like these two for oranges, and then I wouldn't go past these ever unless I want like pristine. If I want to like be more useful without my ult up, other than that, nothing else is really worth it for alt Warden in this page. Like this is okay, but this is like super end game. And Mystic Shot's good too if you can fit Mystic Shot in, but I kind of like having high velocity because it just makes sure your bullet or your gun like way better. And also you can get pristine with that. So here then, Divine Barrier is just a broken item in general. It's really good, and it gives you ability range that's very nice. It gives you also movement speed. So it's like double goated. Don't buy that shit.
The right purchase.
Let me go to flex slots here. Typically what I'll do is when I get Enduring Speed, I'll sell my extra stam, but I'll go Enduring Speed like super late into the game. I'll go extra stam in lane and then Enduring later.
Come back if you need.
I throw my Magic Leap on. There's like this. I don't even buy Enchanted Barrier anymore. I don't know what's here. And typically I will go Fortitude because I think Fortitude move speed is also really good. And my build will like typically look like this for the most part, and then I'll pick up Divine Kevlar and then the improved things, the improved ones. And that's pretty much like all alt Warden. And then the main thing is like you go like this. Obviously these are your items, and you can max this or you can put points into this for the cooldown. But I think they're both valid personally, but it just depends on like the game what I do. This also like the fire rate's slow, so it's really good against people with gun, like a lot of gun characters in your game, or if you're fighting gun characters in the side lane. If you get access to the side lane while you're on alt Warden, although Warden kind of needs resources for every part of Warden, so like if you can't get access to those resources, it's kind of like depressing to play. And personally, that's not fun at all, at all not fun to play. And let me think. So everyone, like the simple combo is just like obviously, you know, Magic Leap into ult. You typically want to press it when you're going up in the air. Like when you're Magic Leap upping in the air, you press it then like this. Then you can come back down. So like ideally you'd be like up already starting. You press this instantly. You proc it, and then you can like hit the thing. You can hit the down like where you want to go. And then obviously it's just a classic Warden combo, slow hex in your 3, trying to get them stuck. And you don't want to shoot them unless you have Fleet Foot, because like it's not worth griefing your movement speed if they're running away. If they're shooting you back, you obviously shoot them back. It's like you have to have a little bit of common sense on alt Warden. And then typically what I would say to do is in lane on Alt Warden, you just only play around your cooldowns, like nothing else. You don't even try to shoot them unless you have your cooldowns up. Gun Warden's a bit different because you want to poke them down and keep them low in the lane, but Gun Warden you want to like play around your CDs, and your main CD you want to play around your ult. It's such a big like important part of like if you fight without this and you lose, like it's on you. That is your own fault. Now that's the first thing of Warden I would say. But like, and then later on in the game, when you're in like actual team fights, what you want to do is you never want to be the first one to engage, because then they just all run away from your ult and it's not worth it. Now, obviously, there are like some niche like scenarios when you could do that, but obviously, like in general, you want to be responding to the team fight with your ultimates. You want to like see them fighting over there, you're watching them like through the wall or something, because you don't want them to know you're coming, or it's just like you're cooked, you can't magically, but they hit you, so you don't, obviously you want to be like, you want to be not in their line of sight, and then you just hop over the wall like this, obviously, and then you get right in on them. Typically what I go for on Warden is just more mainly like front line. I'll single one person out who I think is killable, and then I'll just go around them in the fight, but I typically try to get their whole team in my ultimate for as long as possible. Because it absolutely chunks, and that's how you don't die. You will die if you don't do that. Debug producer obviously is in here. If they have DOS, pop that shit on. And that's pretty much it for Alt Warden. Like the only thing I can say about Alt Warden, like the footnotes, is mainly just if you don't have your ult, do not fight unless you have these items, like the extra upgraded tier 2. Just if you're still on the cheap ass tier 1 oranges, do not fight. It is not worth it. You're just gonna grief your whole game, and then you're gonna be sad. And so now I'm gonna switch over to Gun Warden next half. In Gun Warden, it's kind of played similar to Alt Warden. I have another build here, but it's like not updated, and I don't follow it 1-to-1 because I don't think Heroic Ore is good anymore. But typically what I'll do is 2 points 1 and then 3 points 4, and then I'll max my 1 and I'll max my 2, my 3. You can also go early into this cooldown instead of this. You can go like this, but it just like is depending on the game.
Someone's gonna be bleeding on the
and typically I will buy like the items you see here. I don't buy shrimp boots. I do sometimes. It just is like iffy. I mean, slow hex is always good. This is really big, this item. And if you look here, you'll notice I'm just building like items that I think have a lot of value, that are good. I build BRS super late into the game also, if I were you, because you don't need to hear it. What typically you would do is get other shit first, like this stuff, for example. Oh, intensifying is your first 3k too. Intensifying is always your first 3k on Gun Warden. It's so strong. But Heroic Ore just doesn't give you enough value anymore by building. Like instead of Heroic, you can just get Fortitude, which is like, it's basically the same movement speed, but like perma. And then it's also a better passive, and it's more health. Now, I don't really think you need lifesteal anymore in this character. I think if you need lifesteal, you read for crippling. So typically, my builds do look something like this. Typically, I'll go like this here. I'll have like a berserk. What the fuck is berserk? I don't have it in my build. I have like a berserker. My bullet armor. I don't do like too much bullet armor, but it's a little bit that counts. There's one other thing I was building that built bullet armor. Yeah, I built aura. I don't know, but I typically like would go like these items. Not in this order. Frenzy's obviously way too early here. But I like pristine, and I like this. I would switch out Swift Striker eventually for burst fire when you have the time to get a massive upgrade. And I'll also sell Hollow Point Ward eventually. And then I think your 6Ks are all like, this character is just a character you want to stack 6Ks on realistically, because 6Ks are all really on Warden. Like Lucky Shot's good, Silencer's good, Frenzy's good, Cripple's good, even Burst is good. Like they're all good. And that's just the oranges. Like, what's it called? Inhibitor's good. The Walker's okay, and Unstoppable's really good. Like Unstoppable's really good, and Inhibitor's really good on Warden. And Spirit, I mean, with the gun, you're not really going anything more than like this on Spirit. You're just kind of playing cheap mode on Spirit is what I would put it. So, and then for Gun Warden in lane, you kind of want to do the same thing I said for Spirit. If you watched earlier, you want to go off your cooldowns, but on Gun Warden, it's also more important to keep the enemy low and poked out in lane. So you're willing to take gun trades in lane to get them low and keep them low. And you're willing to like throw your one for poke. So like you never want all in without your cooldowns, but you're like down to throw your buttons, so that way they can get low. Because you're not gonna kill them if they're not low. Gun Warden, you kind of do need money. Like there's no point of playing the game if you have no money on Gun Warden. It's actually like depressing. I also think Escalating is good on Warden. I think Talk is good. I think Hunter Order is good. I think all three of these are good. I have them in my build. I just like buy them sometimes if I think it's like the right time. If I'm not like super head on Warden, I'll play a more frontline bruiser Gun Warden with Frenzy and Hunter's Aura and stuff like that. If you look at my items right now, like I might have improved here, but like if I sell this and I go down to regular, this is why I buy Pristine. You have 31 Spirit Res. It's like really strong. The improved is like not that important. You only get it when you're like dealing yourself really a lot of spirit damage. You also have this block spirit, so it's not that important. But then yeah, so lanes like that. Gun Warden, you want to focus on split pushing and pushing up waves and hitting the walkers a bit more than Alt Warden. And the main reason you do that is because you're able to get away with it. You have a lot of movement speed in your kit with Fortitude, Divine Barrier, this and this. Like yeah, I'm running at 20 MS. And like with Heroic, it doesn't go up that much. It's not that. I think Heroic is like the biggest bait item in Warden personally. That's why I don't build it anymore. I don't like it. Oh, I also would sell this for
protection goes a long way.
Just because of how well it scales. This 23 MS. Is that normal? And so basically, you want to like split push on Alt Warden side lane. Not always, but typically, because you can melt the towers. Like watch this. The items are. I'm not even leveled at all. Let me level. So I'm at 24k. I mean, this is like 50 minutes, and you just melt these things. Like that's 12,000 or 1,200 damage in like 10 shots. That wasn't even with my intensifying like full charge yet. So you definitely do like delete the things. You know, let's go substamp. Cobane's also really good on all Wardens because it's like your main source of anti-heal. When you notice they're like healing, I buy Healbane every game at some point. And typically on Gun Warden, you're either playing around two playstyles. If you're ahead, you play around just like one-shotting people and splitting and like forcing someone to 1v1 you. Because if they 2v1 you or something, you can pop this last stand to disengage. Like if you see someone come off a zip line like over there, you pop behind the wall, pop your last stand, kind of like bait running towards them, and then pop your movement speed to run away if you need. So that's why Alt Warden, or not Alt Warden, that's why I say Gun Warden is really good at splitting. Because you have your tools to disengage and you have the damage to kill the walkers. And then in team fights, on Warden you never want to be the first one in, and like even with this. So in team fights, typically what I'll do is I'll look for a person. I'll pop my slow hex and my binding ward and my flask on them. If they get trapped, they get trapped and I kill them. If they don't, then I'll typically, if I'm really ahead and I'm playing like heavy damage build, I will skirt the edges of the fight still. But if I'm playing that frontline tank build, I'll kind of like run in the middle more. I won't run in the open though. Never run in the open. It's always the death sentence. I feel like that's most people's biggest mistake in team fights. They like are like shooting like here, like this, at someone, and they're exposing themselves to like an enemy there, and there. They're getting like 4v1 here while their teammates are probably like back here unable to shoot at everyone. And then other than that, I mean that's typically like the biggest tips I can give you for Alt Warden. Other than that, I don't think there's much I can do. I can like maybe look. Yeah, I'm gonna show you a build here from an actual game where I do good in High Eternus on Warden. This game is I know a couple people in this lobby, but that's like it. And what? So let's see what happened this game. I don't remember. Okay, we have one. So we have kills in lane. Let me just look at lane stats. Like that, the best way to look at it. Lane stats. We win lane. We win souls wise, and I'm pumping damage. See this shit? I'm pumping the damage, and we're getting there. We're getting their guardian and their tier 2, like all in due time. And this is the thing. Stats, and this is my items here. So as you see, I wasn't lying. I mean, I didn't even get time to build burst this game, but I'll typically go with these items. This is a more green heavy game because I think I'm frontlining with Abrams here. I mean, we just have a very frontline-esque comp, right? Like we're diving in there, they're like trying to disengage and fight backwards. So I just have this to like maximum live in the fights, and if you look at the DPS, I have over almost double everyone on my team. It's like obscene. Gun Warden is still really good, and obviously, like, look, I'm rich this game, so I was able to win lane, sit in a side I was playing with Blur, so he left me alone in the side, and I was able to farm up and just dominate the game. And that's typically Gun Warden what you do. Even look at this game. Like, this is another one. This is the super end game. Look, I have 51k. It's a super end game version of Warden. We lost this one, so it's like obviously, you know, it is what it is. But like, I teched into these super end game because your ult's like still like a human spell. It's still really good, and it's still like is a big source of surviving in fights. These are always good. I think these are like always core. I have Frenzy for survivability and damage. I have Debuff Remover. I have Improved Spirit, and I have Toxic. I think those are all like story. For the most part, I mean, they have a lot of guns, so I had to build Frenzy this game. They have these two building like weird spirit builds and shit, and this guy's building Spirit, so I have to build Spirit. And I mean, this game is a travesty. We lost. I mean, I remember how we lost these two in like a Veil and like against these two with swap up. I don't get it. Anyway, so that's how that's how you play Alt Warden as an E6 Warden player. Let's see. My Warden is by far most played on this account, my next account, and my other account. I have 3 accounts. They're all E6, and Warden is by far the most played on all 3 of them. Or not by far, but he's played. And other than that, I'm out of here. Peace.